Some people don't hate going out. They just feel a strange kind of relief when plans get canceled. It's not excitement, it's not joy, it's quiet. While everyone else talks about living life, they feel something different when they're finally home. No small talk, no pretending, no explaining why they're tired when nothing hard happened. At home, there's no performance, no pressure to smile at the right time, no need to match the energy of the room. And yet, they're often told something is wrong with them. That staying in means they're avoiding life, that comfort is laziness, that solitude is a problem to fix. But what if staying home isn't about hiding from the world? What if it's the only place where their nervous system can finally exhale? What if loving to stay at home isn't a weakness, but a quiet form of self-protection? This video isn't about introverts or extroverts. It's about the people who feel safest when the noise stops, and why that feeling makes more sense than you were ever told. Most people think loving to stay at home is a personality trait. Introvert, quiet, antisocial. But for many people, it's not about personality at all. It's about how their nervous system reacts to the world. Some nervous systems are wired to pick up more noise, more movement, more emotional signals from other people. In crowded places, their brain doesn't filter things out. It takes everything in at once. The laughter across the room, the background music, the shifting moods of the people around them. None of it feels dramatic, but all of it adds up. So while others feel energized by being out, they slowly feel overloaded. Not anxious in a visible way, just drained. Staying home gives their nervous system something rare: predictability, familiar sounds, controlled light, a pace that doesn't demand constant reaction. At home, their body finally stops scanning for threats. Their breathing slows, their muscles unclench. This isn't avoidance, it's regulation. And once you understand that, staying home stops looking like withdrawal and starts looking like recovery. When being out feels like performing. For many people, being out in the world isn't just social, it's performative. You're expected to react at the right time, laugh when others laugh, care about things you don't actually care about. You monitor your tone, your face, your energy. Not because you're fake, but because it's easier than explaining yourself. Over time, that constant adjustment becomes exhausting, not physically, emotionally. You're not just talking to people, you're managing impressions, absorbing moods, carrying unspoken expectations, and no one sees that work. So when you finally get home, it's not about isolation, it's about permission. Permission to stop reacting, to stop being on, to exist without being interpreted. At home, there's no audience, no role to play, no version of yourself to maintain. You don't have to be interesting or productive or emotionally available. You can just be quiet without being asked what's wrong. That's why staying home feels safe, not because you're hiding from people, but because it's the only place you don't have to perform for them. When staying home stops being healing. Staying home can be healthy, it can be grounding, it can be exactly what your nervous system needs. But there's a quiet line most people don't talk about. The line between choosing solitude and feeling trapped by it. Staying home is healing when it gives you peace, when it restores your energy, when you feel more like yourself afterward. But it slowly becomes a warning sign when peace turns into numbness, when days blur together, when the idea of leaving feels heavy before it even happens, when isolation isn't a choice anymore, it's a default. Not because you hate people, not because you're broken, but because your world has quietly shrunk. Healing expands you. Avoidance slowly contracts you. One gives you clarity. The other slowly takes it away. The difference isn't how often you stay home. It's how it makes you feel afterward. Calm or emptier than before. Rested or disconnected from yourself. Staying home should help you return to the world with more capacity, not make the world feel impossible to face. And noticing that difference isn't judgment, it's self-awareness. Redefining what a good life looks like. We're taught that a good life looks busy, full calendars, constant movement, always being somewhere. But for some people, peace doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing less, and finally feeling whole. Loving to stay at home doesn't mean you've given up on life. Sometimes it means you've stopped running from yourself. It means you've learned when to rest, when to step back, when your nervous system needs quiet instead of stimulation. A good life isn't measured by how often you go out. It's measured by how safe you feel inside your own body. Whether you can breathe without bracing, whether you can exist without performing, and whether the place you return to is somewhere you don't have to explain yourself. If staying home helps you feel more like you, then it isn't avoidance, it's alignment. And that kind of life doesn't need to look loud to be meaningful.